Appreciate the introduction, man. That was awesome. Appreciate everybody being with us today too. Talk a little quarterback drills, improve your RPO game, and then at the end we'll talk about teaching your QB to see pre and post snap pictures. I think just an overall general philosophy when you're talking about wanting to implement RPOs. I think there's a lot of guys that make the mistake of you want to become an RPO team, but you really never give your quarterback the tools to be successful in terms of individual time and in terms of that group time. And then really the time that he needs to spend on the whiteboard and in the film room as well when you're talking about RPOs, because it's not just as easy as calling a run play and tagging a bubble, like everybody thinks it is. There's a lot of things that go into it. And, so giving your guy, the keys to be successful and drilling that stuff every single day is the most important thing, in my opinion. We spend a lot of time in our drill work just drilling the simple steps of an RPO game. And I think hopefully you guys can get something out of this, and take some easy, simplified drills back to your school, to your quarterbacks, that you can use in your indie time. So when you talk about, RPO stuff, like I said, and then when you get to pre and post snap pictures, everybody's doing a lot of good things. Brent Dearman's doing a lot of good things. We've kind of stolen some ideas from him, and then we've also stolen some ideas from Hugh Freeze when he was at Ole Miss. So, that's kind of a mix in the philosophy that we kind of go with. So I'll get right into it. Just a little bit about our program at Toledo Central Catholic. We're in Northwest Ohio. Big time program up here in Northwest Ohio. We play in Division II, Region 7. We were in the state semis this past year. 4-time state champions, 19 conference titles. Fortunate enough to have 8 NFL players, 21 state playoff appearances, 136 All-Ohio honorees, and then one Mr. Football winner. And then, if those of you guys are familiar, we had Deshaun Kaiser come through our program, who played at Notre Dame, is currently in the NFL right now with the Oakland Raiders. Mike Warren's getting ready to go to the league, played at, Cincinnati. James Hudson's still at Cincinnati. He's going to have a big-time career there, probably go to the league one day. Dane Sossenbacher's another player. He was in the league for a number of years, played at Ohio State. So just a number of guys that have rolled through the program that have been big-time players. So a lot of notoriety has been brought to the program. And when you think of football, especially high school football in Northwest Ohio, Toledo Central Catholic is one of the first programs that comes to mind. Also, a funny little tidbit, too, that, in 2014, we actually played – I was not on staff, obviously. I was young at the time, but, played against Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's last high school football game that he lost and won a shootout game, 56-52. And Joe Burrow and company lit it up for about 500 yards in the air. And Central, we actually ran it for about 500 something yards on the ground with Mike Warren. So it was, great game and great atmosphere. And played at the Horseshoe. So just a little fun piece of information there as well. So that was cool to be a part of. I've been able to be a part of some great programs, as I've been in my coaching career. I'm going on my 8th year now. So when I started at Anthony Wayne High School up here with Craig Smith, and that's where I played. That's where I graduated from. And I was a wide receivers coach in a wing T offense. So I was a wing T guy to start. And so it kind of made that whole sales shift change. And it was great just to kind of learn player relationships. And I've always tried to, every guy that you work for, I think there's a lot of guys in scenarios where they may not agree with the guy that they work for, or they agree and they get along great. I think it's healthy to have, disagreements in the coaching world as well, because, you can kind of lay all your laundry out and explain. You really have to explain why you believe in something. So, there's nothing wrong with disagreements, but I think that when you work for guys, you got to take the good and be able to flush out the bad. And these are all the good things that I kind of learned along the way from all the head coaches that I've worked for. And Craig was player relationships. And then, I had a chance to make a jump to college ball, and I went and worked at Bowling Green State University and worked under Dino Babers. And Dino Babers was on the rise at that time with his staff. And I got to work with Sean Lewis, who's the head coach at Kent State, Andrew Sauter, who's the OC there, just a number of guys that are coaching big-time football. And really, when I was there, I really got to learn spread football. And when you talk about being on the cutting edge of spread football, I've been able to be a part of 2 offenses in the air raid, and then this spread up-tempo, power run style, take shots deep with Coach Babers, that Baylor made so famous for a number of years when Coach Briles was there. I've been able to learn, those 2 kind of styles. And then, and then when I was with Coach Jinks came in 2016 after we won the MAC title. And in 2015, and Coach Babers moved on. Coach Jinks came in, stayed on. And that's where I really learned, defenses, how to read defenses, how to break defenses down. Really, my film study improved. Talking about reading guys' technique on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and then really Coach Jinks was a high school coach, like a lot of us now, and kind of made the rise very quickly out of the state of Texas. Was a high school coach, and then 3 years later, he was the head coach at BGSU. So crazy ride for him, and now he's at USC with Seth Dagey and those guys have been mentors to me. Great guys, and I can hit those guys up anytime I want, and they'll respond. Which, when you talk about guys that are coaching big time football, sometimes you don't get that. So it's been great. And then when I worked for Coach Chipka, I was able to get my first offensive coordinator job there in 2017 at the ripe age of 23. So that was kind of just trial by fire. And when I learned from him is that, he had great organizational skills. So I was able to take that with me. And then obviously, where I'm at now with Coach Greg Dempsey at Toledo Central Catholic, you talk about championship culture and work ethic, man. This guy works like he's a GA, and and he's the head coach, and he's won 3 state titles. And there's never a day goes by that he's not working, tirelessly on the program. He's working harder than some of the assistants sometimes. So it's great. And that just makes you, as an assistant, that makes you want to work that much harder. So, so I've been here now as the passing game coordinator, quarterbacks coach, and it's been great. And almost kind of, I was an OC and kind of took a step back. Joined a really, a big time program, like I said, that's consistently in the state title race. And it's been great for me. A lot of young coaches want to climb the ladder, but really when you're talking about learning football, man, and just growing your X's and O's and being around great people and being around championship culture, that stuff's more important than any title you could ever have. So, it's been great in that sense. When you talk about quarterback play today, especially in the RPO game, I think this overall for a quarterback, I love this quote because I just think in today's society, we there's so many kids that want to know why, what they're doing, especially, listen to NFL head coaches talk sometimes. It's not like at the college or high school game where you can just tell a kid to, hey, go do this, and they'll do it. They won't ask why. In the NFL game, those guys want to know why they're doing a certain drill. And that's now starting to trickle down into the college and high school game. These kids want to know why they're doing something. So to be able to give them the concrete proof and evidence of why you're doing a certain drill to make them better and why it pertains and why it applies to what your offense is great. So, the QB is ready to go play when he not only knows what, but why he is doing it. I just think that's such a good quote. When you're talking about your quarterback, you want your quarterback to think like a coach. And the quicker that you can get him there and on the same page with your staff, the better off that guy's going to be. We talk about offensive philosophy, man. Everybody's got a bunch of philosophy. So I just try to simplify it, in my terms that I like. And I think at the end of the day, the goal is to run a lot of plays, score, have a lot of yards and score a lot of points. So we, use the philosophy of PYP. Everybody's got these great ideas of what they want to do. But at the end of the day, this is the main goal, man, just to score a bunch of points. We like to play fast. We like to control the tempo. So we like to run a lot of plays too. And then the more plays you run, man, you're going to give yourself, I learned that from Coach Babers, the more plays you try to run, the more opportunity you're going to give yourself to score points and the more stress you're going to put on the defense. So it's great in that sense. Here at Central Catholic, we're a multiple spread team. We do a lot of different things. And our offensive staff, man, is phenomenal. We've got everybody on our staff, which is great, has been either a head coach or a play caller at one point in time. So when you talk about guys that have no ego, you got a bunch of guys in a room that really own their position, are the head coach of their position. They know what the hell they're doing. And, they really just, they want to be there for Central Catholic. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters for us, when you're talking about playing the game of football, is winning the game. None of us have egos. Sure, we've all got our great ideas, but, we really just want to, score a bunch of points and win a lot of football games. So it's great in that sense. And Coach Dempsey puts a lot of trust in us to own our position groups. And like I said, when you got guys that have been former head coaches or OCs as your position coaches, it's that much better. So our quarterback philosophy at Central Catholic, and my philosophy more specifically, we want an efficient, accurate guy. But you want that guy to be efficient and accurate within the structure of your offense. And I think that goes back to when you talk about your drill work too. I see a lot of QB coaches nowadays that just drill drills they just run drills because they saw another guy do it in a clinic talk, or they've seen the same drill over and over again. And that's almost lazy to me. I mean, you gotta develop your drills around what you do well in your offense and how it's going to apply to your offense. So within our offense, we want our guy to be accurate and efficient, man. And whether you throw the ball 5 times a game or whether you throw the ball 35 times a game, we're kind of in the middle of that. We're a 10 to 15 type of team, 10 to 15 throws a game. And we don't throw it all over the yard. And I'm going to show you guys the numbers here next. You know, we like I said, we don't throw it all over the yard. So for us, man, we just want our guy to be efficient and accurate. And then we want him to have big playability. I think the days of just your quarterback either being non-mobile and standing back there and slinging it around or just being a runner are over. He's got to be able to do both and bring that big playability at any point in time. And you want a competitor at all times, man. You want that guy that's going to, bear down when he needs to bear down and bring your team back when he needs to bring them back or get in somebody's face. And then you also want that. People always talk about the it factor. This is the it factor with the quarterback. Be different, have some swagger, man. I think that's so important when you're talking about, you want that guy to have that it factor. He needs to be a dude. And I think that, your program needs to know that he's a dude. Our quarterback numbers, like I said, man, it's almost funny to put these up here because it's not great. We're not lighting the world on fire. But again, you can see, 2018 before all the RPO stuff kind of, that we were doing, you think just before the passing game kind of evolved, the numbers weren't great, 48 for 107, 8 TDs, 767 yards. And then you can see the difference we took in a year in one jump, 90 for 151, and then 25 TDs, 1,800 yards. So again, we're not lighting the world on fire, but within the structure of our offense, a multiple spread, we like to run the read option game, things like that. And then we throw 10 to 15 times. That works for us, and now that we're going to take that next step this next year. Coach Dempsey and I talk all the time when you're kind of evolving from a run first team to throwing it more. You don't just come out guns blazing that first year and winging all over the yard. You kind of develop it. And we've got a second year guy coming back at quarterback, 2 big time receivers that are getting a bunch of D1 looks. So that's kind of this year is the year to kind of take that next step. So, you can kind of see the difference in a year of what we've done. All right, when we talk about quarterback drills, more specifically for the RPO game, man, number one, simple is better for me. I'm a less is more kind of guy. I don't have 600 different drills. I've got about 10 drills within our RPO game and our drop back game, and that's what we roll with. I think that it's better when you can kind of keep it condensed. And even like times like this, perfect example in this quarantine, if I gave my guy a list of 300 things to do, man, that's too much for him to get through. He knows what he should be doing, the 10 drills that he should be doing every day. Because I just think that it applies better to what you're trying to get done. And when you talk about indie time during the season, you don't have much time. You got 10, 15 minutes tops. So you got to be able to fly through your stuff quickly. And then you got to maximize your time as well. So we do a lot of this RPO stuff. When we don't have enough indie time, we do it during defensive time. We do it pre-practice. We do it post-practice during special teams. You can really maximize your time and kind of combine drills together. That way you can get as much done as possible. You're going to hear me talk a lot today about lower half. The lower half is key for everything you talk about RPOs. Your footwork is the most important thing, I think, when you talk about RPOs, because at the end of the day, the arm talent's going to come. Especially when you're working with guys at the high school level, you got guys that have all different range of arm motion and arm talent. And as long as their feet are right, you're going to have a chance. And we talk about it all the time, good feet, good throw. So you're going to hear me talk about a lot of our stuff is just hip, footwork, all types of deals with the lower body in terms of the RPO game today. All right, so our EDDs are everyday drills that we work. Again, it's not a ton of stuff, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 5 drills basically. And this is what we do every day in terms of our indie work. And a lot of it's quick release stuff. So when you're talking about RPOs, the ball needs to come out quick a lot of times, unless you're really reading and riding somebody post-snap. A lot of these pre-snap RPOs, the ball comes out quick. And your quarterback's got to know what to do with this footwork, how to clear a running back mesh, how to turn to really quickly, how to quick rip it without the laces. All those things he needs to know. It can't just be, hey, read this guy. We're going to call inside zone and bubble our number 3 receiver, and we want you to read this guy. And if he collapses, throw the football. It's not as simple as that. And people make that mistake of thinking it's that simple. And when at the end of the day, he's got to have the tools. It's like riding a bike. You're not just going to go put a kid on a 2-wheeler right away and say, hey, go do it. Go ride down that hill. You're going to start with training wheels and then take the training wheels off and slowly progress. And a lot of our drills is just progress. They progress to the next step. And then you'll see when we flip on the film, it all comes together. All right, so our indie RPO drills, when we warm up, man, we talk it all the time. Every throw is a big time throw for us. We don't want to waste any type of throw. The days of just, flipping the ball back and forth and warming up, we don't really ever do that. Everything's got a movement, a specific movement. And then when you talk about three distinct movements, when we're going through an RPO, usually there's three distinct movements that happen. There's a read, there's a ride, there's a pop. There's a read, there's a pop your feet, there's a throw the football. There's always three distinct movements normally, and we try to bring all those movements together into one fluid motion. You hear a lot of QB guys talk about, giving their quarterbacks too much to think about, and especially more specifically like Will Hewitt. He's a good quarterback guy to listen to. Everything needs to be fluid and natural with your quarterback. So, when you give him too much to think about, I think that he can, get into his own head a lot of times, and then his mechanics can be all off. A lot of our stuff, we do a throwing stance with the hips. So a lot of our stuff is based off of our hip movement and making sure, you got good hip placement into your throw. And then, like we said, our feet are so important. If you've got good feet and you're aimed towards a target with good footwork, you're going to be in a good spot to throw the football. All right. So when we start, this drill, really, we progress this drill back to 10, 15 yards so we can get a real good toss in. But when we start, we just start with feet parallel. And really, we just want our guys to twist their hips, get up on the balls of their toes, and toss the football back and forth to each other. Really the most important thing to focus on here is the hip movement, the hip twist. And again, it's almost like a pitcher when he stands in that static spot and he kind of just has his elbow up and he's flicking his wrist. Same type of deal here with the quarterback where he's just twisting, throwing the football nice and easy. But then when they work back to that 10, 15-yard range, that's when they're really going to drive through the football, get their hips violently thrown back, and then really quick release that football through. And you want to get them, this should take no longer than, a minute tops. They should, 5 or 6 quick throws in the 5-yard marker, and then get back to that 10, 15-yard marker and get another 10 to 15 throws in before you move to the next routine. All right, so now when we talk about, this is our easy way. So when you talk about an easy way to throwing position, really at the end of the day, we want to end up like this all the time, correct? And this is, when you talk about easy way, a lot of times this is for the natural throwing spot to throw the football. And this goes for RPOs too. If you're same side reading and riding, if you got a right-handed quarterback, a right-handed right side offset running back, and you're reading and riding to that right side, that's an easy throw for your quarterback. All he's got to do is read, ride, pop his feet, throw the football. Now, when you talk about a hard way or an opposite side, he's got to do what we call a 45-degree step, and we'll get into that later in terms of his RPO footwork, because he's in a hard way. He's in a hard position to throw the football. It's not natural. So he's got to get back to that good spot. So here's our easy way here. We're just going to have a slight 6-inch step with that opposite foot. So my guy here is a right-handed thrower, okay? So it's like teaching a kindergartner to throw a ball. You're always going to teach him to step with that opposite foot. So here we're just going to have our opposite foot slightly forward. And really, when we talk about stance and start for our guys when they're catching the snap, I want them to be in a comfortable position. What I don't want them to do is to have feet parallel. So whether it's their right foot forward or left foot forward, I don't care. I just want them to be comfortable. But when we talk about a throwing position like this, this is their easy way with that natural opposite foot forward. So again, it's just a twist, throw the football. So we call this the easy way. Okay, same thing coming back. Now, with our other guy here, notice he's a righty thrower, okay, but now his right foot is slightly 6 inches above, all right, of his left foot. Now this is our hard way. So he's really got to emphasize twisting the hips here and delivering the football, okay? It's just getting that natural, fluid movement of feeling the easy way, hard way type of mentality. Same thing with our guy back here. Okay, easy way, hard way. And this is just the beginning of that warm-up. All right, so now we're going to get more movement going in our warm-up. Now we're going to get into our true, RPO footwork here, okay? So now when we talk about back away, we're literally going to have our back to our partner, okay, like my guy does down here, all right? And you can place this, your guy catching the football, your other quarterback, wherever you'd like. We just put them directly behind, but you can work different spots of where an RPO would be. And really what this trains here is when you talk about RPOs, right, a lot of times you're reading a defender, okay, if you're doing a post-snap RPO. And what this does is this trains your cue to understand that okay, if I'm reading a defender, I all of a sudden have to flip my head if I'm going to throw the football and find my target to throw it. This is exactly what this drill trains, along with the lower half portion of the body we've always talked about, with the pop mentality. And you're going to hear me say it a lot here. We want him to just flip over his easy way. Okay, so his back's going to be away. I'm just going to call ball. He's going to flip over this left shoulder here because that's his easy way. Okay, that's his throwing easy way. And really, it should be a 1-2 movement with his feet, and then he should deliver the football. Pop, ball. Okay, and those are the cue words you're using. Same thing with our guy down here. Ball, pop, deliver the football. We don't want our guys to jump and twist. Okay, this is a 1-2 mentality with their feet here. Because when you're RPOing, same type of deal. You never want, if it's turning 2, and you're going to see a lot of film where we quick turn 2, you don't want your guy to jump up in the air and twist and throw the ball. You want him to pop with his feet, 1-2. Okay, so same thing down here with my other guy. 1-2, ball. Same thing going back, ball, pop. And again, you can work this thing back at 10 yards, 15 yards. But really, you don't want to get any further than that because no RPOs. You're not throwing any RPOs. Nobody's throwing any RPOs that are 20-plus yards downfield, right? So you want to work this drill like it's going to be real life. 5 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, because that's how far you're throwing your RPOs a lot of times. Pop, ball. Good. Okay, now here's his hard way. So again, this is going to simulate that opposite side ride away from his throwing shoulder, and it's going to simulate him getting back to a pop throwing platform to deliver the football. Okay, so he's going to turn over that same side throwing shoulder now, and again, we don't want him to jump and twist. Okay, we want him to jump and pop. It's 1-2. He wants to have that. He wants to have that back foot lands first, so he can be in a loaded throwing position, and then the front foot comes down so he can deliver the football. Pop, ball. Notice how it's 2 distinct movements there. Pop, ball. And then like I talked about in the beginning, it's all 3, and we want all 3 of these movements to happen together. So it's pop, and then throw the football. Pop, ball. Same thing with our guy down there. Now notice that guy just kind of twists and pivots on his back foot. That's not what we want. We want more of a pop mentality like I've talked about. Ball, pop. Good. Now his hips are in a good spot and 2 pops. Pop, ball. Now we're going to do the same exact drill, but now we're going to add a little bit more stimuli, and we're going to walk away from our target. Okay, so we're walking away from our target. Again, we're still training our eyes to get to a target after our read ride, simulating what it would be like in a game. Okay, so I'm just going to call out. I'm going to say walk away to my guy. Then I'm going to call ball. Let him walk for 3 or 4 steps. And then really you're going easy way, hard way again. So we're going to go 2 or 3 throws easy way, then 2 or 3 throws hard way. Walk away, ball. Pop, deliver the football. Same thing with our guy down here. Walk away, ball. Pop, deliver the football. Walk away, ball. Pop, good. Same thing again. Walk away, ball. Good. Okay, now we're going to do it the hard way. Okay, so now he's got to walk away and he's got to pop. All right, pop to get back to that throwing platform. Again, you don't want to jump and twist. Okay, walk away, pop, ball. Walk away, pop, ball. Just getting that feet back to the target. And this is all simulating now with the hard way. The hard way is simulating that opposite side ride. Again, notice our guy down here. He just kind of jumps and twists. It's not what we're looking for. We're looking for 2 distinct movements here. Pop, ball. Now I'll talk about turn 2. Okay, there's 2 types of turn 2. You're going to have your turn 2 when your back's away from you. You're just catching and firing the football right away. And then you're going to have your turn 2 where you kind of have the back on the same side and you got to clear it, almost like a shortstop turning 2. That's why we call it this. A shortstop clearing the runner, sliding into the bag after he's caught the ball, and then turning 2 to first base. The same type of deal. And this is a lot of your horizontal RPOs, like your bubbles, your missiles, anything that's down the line of scrimmage. This is what you're doing a lot of times. Anything that's reading and riding where you're really going vertical, that's your stick routes, your speed outs, your glance route that everybody's running nowadays. That's more of your vertical RPO where you're really reading and riding thing. A lot of this turns 2 stuff is what's happening with your pre-snap RPOs. Okay, so again, our target's just over here to the right. You're placing that target wherever you want. And this is stuff you're doing every day because this translates to your RPO game. Okay, you can't, again, we can't just not give our guy any tools to work with. So really, our back would be pictured over here. Okay, and we're just, this is a pre-snap RPO over here, whatever it may be. That's what you're telling your guy. And he knows right now he can catch, throw the football based off of that read guy's alignment. And really, we just want to get the feet moving towards the target here. Always simulate the snap, catch, and throw, okay? And really, when you do this, have your guy work 2 reps without the laces and then 2 reps with the laces, because a lot of times in these quick rip RPOs, if you're getting it out fast, you may not have time to find the laces. Catch, ball. Just moving towards the target. That's all we're doing here. Same thing going back. Catch, ball. All right, now back is to his same side. So now he's got to clear the running back. And again, this is for that pre-snap RPO where if it's a pre-snap read, or it could be a post-snap read, but it depends on what that read defender is doing. If that read defender is giving a really clear picture pre-snap that you want to throw your RPO, you don't need to read ride anything. You can clear the back, all right, clear the mesh, and then just get rid of the football. And really, he's just going to take 1 6-inch step back with this left foot here, clear it, and throw. Okay, you're alerting the back, letting him know, then you're getting rid of the football. Because again, if you don't let him know, right, you could have collision right here with the running back if you catch and throw that thing. Clear it, ball. Same thing. And again, okay, you can place this guy in a million different places. All right. This is where, like, your missile route. You can put him here for your stick route. You can run a speed out with them. This is all your indie QB drills that you're doing. So you're just trying to maximize your time as best as you can. If you're lucky enough to have 4 or 5 guys in your indie drills, it's great. Clear, ball. And again, notice how he's taking his head from read guy, okay, from catching the snap to read guy to getting to his target. And again, that all simulates the 2 drills we worked prior where they've got their back away from each other and then they're finding their target immediately. Same thing. Now he's going to his hard way here. Now he's really got to twist his hips. That was his easy way prior. Now he's going to his hard way. So he's got to flip his hips and throw the football. Catch, ball, pop, pop. Notice the pop, pop again still. All right. It's not a jump and twist. It's a pop, pop, ball. Same thing. Pop, pop, ball. Again, you can throw the snap to him as the quarterback coach. He can simulate it, whatever you want to do, but it can't be static. Don't just let him catch and throw it. He's got to simulate the snap, feeling those laces out. Two reps without the laces, 2 reps with the laces. Everything with when you're talking about doing your RPOs. Just another view of it from the side. Pop, pop, ball. Getting your hips to the target, flipping them, and throwing the football. Same thing with our guy over here. Okay, this is his easy way. He's going to his target. Now he's clearing the back. Now he's going opposite, and he's pop, pop, ball. Pop, pop, ball. All right, here's a game clip of it, right? Okay, again, if we haven't worked this stuff all summer, all fall camp, this ball could go sailing over this dude's head over here. All right, you never know. You know, but you work this stuff, and now he's got the tools to understand. Okay, this is a turn 2 throw for me. Okay, this is a pre-snap RPO based off of our 3-on-1 advantage over here. Okay, so this is just turn 2. Get rid of it right now. The back's away from me, so I don't even have to worry about clearing the back. Catch, get your momentum to the target, deliver a strike. Here's the back view. Notice everything's going to the target. He's not falling away. Okay, he's not throwing in a stationary, concrete ground. He's moving everything towards the target. And notice here, he's throwing that thing without the laces. Well, we've repped it all week. I should say months without throwing without the laces. 2 reps without the laces, 2 reps with the laces. Same thing again over here. Okay, pre-snap RPO. He likes his pre-snap read. He's just getting rid of it right now. Turn 2, ball. Deliver a strike. Again, this is all quick release stuff, okay? You may think, as a coach, and we've all made this mistake. I've made this mistake when trying to incorporate RPOs. You think, okay, it's easy enough for our guy just to catch and throw this thing right now. Well, easier said than done. You got to give him the tools, okay, to be able to be successful in the RPO game. That's why the indie drill work with it is so important. Same thing here. He's going to get his momentum to the target, catch, ball. Moving his feet towards the target. Catch, pop, pop, ball. Okay, now he's going his hard way. All right, this is to his same side, throwing side. So really, he's got to flip his hips, pop, pop, and deliver the football. Okay, same deal. He likes his pre-snap box. It's a pre-snap RPO for us. Okay, likes his pre-snap box based off of that dude. So he's going to catch, flip his hips, pop, pop, ball. Catch, pop, pop, ball. All indie drills that we just worked. Now here's your clear. Okay, so he's going to clear the runner here now. So this is like your runner sliding into second base. The shortstop's got to clear him to deliver the ball. All right, technically this is a post-snap RPO for us, but the pre-snap box that we're getting off of our read guy is great. Okay, so that's telling our quarterback, I don't need to read ride this thing. I can just get rid of it right now. So I'm going to alert the back by just letting them know that I'm clearing it and delivering the football. Clear set, ball. All right, so then we talk about quick rip, okay? And this, again, this is just for all your quick RPOs when you're working. And this is a drill that I don't have on tape, but I'm going to simulate for you guys in this picture, okay? You're talking about when you're throwing without the laces, okay? And he's got to rep that stuff because sometimes these missiles and these bubbles happen so fast on those pre-snap RPOs, or it is technically a post-snap, could be, and the pre-snap reads telling you to throw it now, get rid of the mesh fake. He's got to be able to catch and throw without the laces. Yes, in an ideal world in the drop back game and our rhythm stuff, yeah, I want him to throw with laces. But when this RPO stuff happens, especially these quick RPOs that are horizontal, anything that's bubble, missile, he's got to be able to have somewhat of a savviness to throw without the laces. So you as a quarterback coach can stand right in front. Okay, you can put these guys at different levels. You can have a missile guy here. Okay, you can have a guy catching a hitch. All right, then you could have a guy catching a speed out if you like, or you could have a guy over here catching that glance route, whatever you want to do. But then you're just dropping the ball into his bucket, okay? So you're basically just standing here and dropping a ball into his bucket as quick as possible. He is catching it, not finding the laces, but he's throwing it right now. And it's rapid fire. It's like 3 or 4 reps in a row. And that's just getting him used to throwing it without the laces. So I'm going to show you guys this clip here. Not a great job of our wideouts blocking out here, but you're going to see our guy just catches it and throws it because we've worked this drill all week. Again, he's not throwing without the laces, but you're still delivering a good timely ball. Okay, and now this is your read, ride, pop stuff. Okay, this is for all your post-snap stuff. A lot of this is for your glance route. Okay, maybe it's for your speed out. It's for your stick route, because a lot of that stuff is there's a read and a ride involved more so than there would be essentially for those bubbles and missiles, where those are kind of just a pre-snap look and you're getting it out now. And you certainly, obviously, we post-snap RPO bubbles as well. But this read-ride stuff is for all that second-level type deal. So, again, we talk about when we do this, we do a 90-degree, which is our easy way, okay? And this is that same side read. So if you got a right-handed thrower back on the right, and you want his feet to get into a 90-degree. So we want this toe pointed here, and we want him to bring this left foot and point it here on his mesh, okay? So he should be completely opened up with both his hips pointing to the sideline, okay? That's your same side, because he doesn't have to worry about flipping his hips back when he throws because he's already in a good throwing position, okay? So, and then we talk about, we have a quick rip throw, or a quick ride throw, I should say, and then we have a long ride it out throw. The quick ride throw is for, it's just going to be a quick shoulder. That's for, like, if his long ride it out RPO happens fast, he's got to be able to quick shoulder it and get the ball out now. Well, sometimes you're going to have a longer ride because you're going to manipulate that defender a little bit more, and you just want to be able to work both, so he's familiar with both. So here, he's just going to catch, quick rip, ball. Or excuse me, quick ride, ball. Good. Now he's going to really read and ride this out. Ride, pop, ball. And notice how he's popping his feet to throw the ball. It's that same terminology I've been using the whole time. And again, that right there goes back to that first drill we started with, okay? All the way from the beginning where he's got his feet easy way and he's just getting loose. That's that first drill. Read, ride, pop, ball. Instead of just riding and now he's throwing the football with his feet stuck in the sand here, he's got to pop his feet to get back into a good spot. Now he can deliver a strike. Notice, okay, he's 90 degrees. Okay, we love the feet here. Okay, both feet are pointed to the sideline because it's an easy way for him. It's the same side ride RPO. Okay, read, ride, pop. Notice again, out without the laces there. Okay, and really a couple key coaching points here when you do this is when you're going to alert the back that you're giving him the ball based off your ride, point the nose of the football into his belly. All right. And then if you're not, just keep the nose of the football straight up because that tells the back, okay, don't clamp down yet because he's still reading and riding this thing out. And you really want to push that ride hand, okay, that near hand to the back, really kind of ride it through when you're reading and riding. Ride, pop, ball. And again, now with your longer ride, you can really find the laces and ride that thing out. Ride, pop, ball. Okay, here's a drill that we got from the University of Toledo, our backup quarterback. His dad was the OC at Toledo, okay? And this is just, this is when you're working your mesh drill, and this basically turned into our RPO drill for the year, okay? For any of you guys that do like inside zone where you really do a triple option RPO type of read, you do that triple option RPO type of read where he has a first read off the defensive end. If that defensive end collapses, he can pull the football and go. Well, then now he's got a second read out here, so you can stick another coach out here. Okay, I'm drawing my stick figure up here, but you can stick another coach out there, and you can have your wideouts out here too, okay, running their bubble or their missile or whatever it may be, and now you can get that defender to run at the cue and then work dumping it on the run, okay? It's a great drill to kind of incorporate all of your mesh and your RPO drill together. Got a question, Coach?
Yeah. Coach just wants you to just state the last statement about riding the running back again.
This one here. Okay, so yeah, when you're reading and riding with the running back here, okay, I think a couple of things, maybe this is what he's getting at. When you want to alert the back that you're giving the football, point that nose of the football into his belly. That tells the back, all right, I'm giving you the ball right now. If not, he's going to keep that nose straight up and down. That alerts the back, all right, hey, he's still reading and riding this thing. He could pull it at any time. Hopefully that answers the question.
I think we're good, Coach.
Cool. All right, same thing with our guy over here. Not doing a very good job. He's just catching and throwing here, okay? We should be really reading and riding this thing out. Now he does a better job here. Here's a real rep. Here's a good rep. Ride, pop, ball. Same thing that our guy was doing before. Ride, pop, ball. Feet are at 90 degrees. Hips are pointed to the sideline, and you can do that 90 degree, that lingo, you can use that with him because it's an easy way. He doesn't worry about having to flip his hips back to a target. Now, when we go the opposite way, we'll show you why we only use a 45-degree step because you don't want to get too turned when you're on your opposite side. Ride, pop, ball. And again, you can place this guy wherever you like, okay? You can do it for your stick, all right? You can do it for your glance route. You can do it for your speed out, whatever it may be, okay? You can place that guy in multiple different spots. Ride, pop, ball. Really does a good job here, dropping his hips, okay? Having the weight on the balls of his feet. All right, popping up to throw the football then. Ride, pop, ball. And really, we like the dip. We like the low shoulder here just because now you're really sticking that ball into the back's belly and you're giving that perception to the defense of that read guy. He could hand this thing, so I'm going to have to declare and get into my run fit. All right, so now here's the opposite way. Bad job here. Okay, this is not what we want. Realistically, in this drill, okay, so this is your back over here to his left, and this is our opposite way. So our RPO is down here, out here somewhere, all right, off to our left. So now he's going to go on a 45-degree step. So really, we only want this right foot to move on a 45, okay? That way he can pop his hips back to a good spot. He wants to leave this foot planted. Okay, so I'm going to show you this here. This is a bad rep by him, but we'll correct it in the very next rep. Okay, he moves the left foot, which is not what we want. Okay, now here's a good look. Notice, okay, great picture right here. All right, this is a 45-degree. Notice how both feet are not facing the sideline in that direction. It's more of this way on a 45-degree angle, and the hips are at a 45-degree angle because, again, that's his opposite throwing side. Okay, he needs to be able to pop back to a good spot, and if he got too overturned on that opposite side, he'd never be able to get back in a good throwing position to deliver the football. There it is. Ride, pop, ball. Good. All right, so here's some clips of it. Here's the opposite side ride, pop, ball. Okay. Good job by the Q. This is more of your post snap stuff. This is your 2 foot, your 2 types of footwork for your post snap RPOs. Reading and riding. All right, here's a good clip. We're going to run the glance route down here by this cat. All right, we're reading this guy right here. So really, this is his easy side, right? Because he's going to the right. So he should really bring both these feet on a 90-degree, have both of his hips pointed towards the sideline here. Ride, pop, ball. Great play by the corner here. But you guys get the idea of what we're doing here. Read, ride, pop, ball. All right. Okay, again, we don't want him jumping up in the air. Okay. We want that pop mentality like we've talked about. Here's a good clip of, this is why RPOs are great in tempo as well. So again, going back to, we don't want him to get this back foot stuck in the mud here, especially if he knows he's going to throw the football. We want him to clear the back and to throw this thing right now. Okay, and it's great because notice the defense, nobody's lined up. We just want to get the ball out right now. So at that point, there doesn't even need to be a read ride. Notice how his back leg's kind of stuck in the mud here and he's reading and riding. We don't need that right here. We just need that clear and get rid of it right now. All right, here's a great example of the 45 degrees. So he's on his opposite side now. Okay, so this right foot's just going to come on a 45. This left foot is going to stay planted and just pivot on the 45, and then both hips should be on a 45-degree angle. That way he can get back to that pop and deliver the football, okay, rather than get caught. Everything's on a 45-degree angle, and he can then pop and deliver a strike. If he got 2 overturned and he went 90 degrees there on his opposite side, he'd never be able to get back to a good throwing spot. Here's another good clip of it from the back view. Ride, pop, ball. And again, notice, throwing the ball without the laces again. Okay, but we've repped this stuff. It's not just he's doing this on his own. We've repped all this stuff. And again, this is simple. It's 5 drills, realistically. Okay, it's a warm-up, and then it's 2 different types of pre-snap movements, and then 2 different types of post-snap movements. Okay, now here's your ride, pop, quick 3. I just added this in here at the end. Those of you guys that do a bunch of play action and then take a deep shot, okay, you can give him kind of footwork to do here. So if you're going same side, again, you're still doing the 90-degree step, but then you're taking a quick 3 drop afterwards, okay? And then the same way if you're going to his left over here, you just go on a 45-degree, and then he'd flip his hips and go pop, ball. So he's going to ride, quick 3, ball. Here's a clip of it. He's going to his opposite side here, but you guys can get the gist of it. Ride, quick 3. All right, and we end up stepping up in the pocket and delivering a crappy ball, but you guys get the idea. So now we'll transition to, our kind of run-pass option philosophy, which, talking about teaching your quarterback pre- and post-snap pictures. There's a bunch of different ways to go about it. This is the way that we found successful. We may tweak it. I'm not saying it's the best way. I'm not saying it's the only way, but it's what's worked for us the last year. So we're still kind of tweaking with those things in the off season here. But when you talk about implementing an RPO, we don't want to get it twisted. We want to establish a downhill run. That's the biggest thing for us. We never want to lose that downhill running aspect. And I feel like people want to call more RPOs because they want to throw it more. No, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get great run boxes at the end of the day so we can run the football more. And we hope that we can do that. So we try to drill into our Q's head from day one. Don't get it twisted, man. We want you to count the box in the beginning, and if we have a great run box, we're going to run the football. when you're talking about repping your RPOs, you want to group your personnel too. So this is the second point. If you've got certain guys that are only running the bubble and the stick, which is most of the time your inside guys, when you're doing your ROAs, okay, your routes on error, we do RPO period in that same period. So those guys are getting all their RPO routes, and the quarterbacks are getting all their read, ride, pop stuff. So they're not just only repping that stuff in team. Treat your RPO, package the same you would treat your routes on air package. So your bubble and stick guys are only going to rep bubble and stick. Your missile, Seattle, which is that glance route, and your hitch guys are only going to run that. And then if you've got tight ends that are running arrows and pops, you work that in. And then when you talk about RPOs, man, reps are king. Indy, group, team, and tape. Those are the four things we break it down in. We're not just calling RPOs in team, okay? We're doing Indy drills for our RPOs. That goes for the wideouts too. They're repping that stuff in Indy. And then in group, you're treating your ROAs with your RPO period. You're having a mesh period when you're repping RPOs as well with your running backs. That's all stuff that has to happen if you want to have a good RPO team. Okay, and then just some general thoughts that I've had when you talk about, listening to a bunch of guys talk about RPOs. I think it's good that, everybody's kind of giving their thoughts on it. And here's what we've kind of come up with. We don't want to lose protection at the end of the day. There's C gap to C gap protected RPOs, which that means you're reading a D gap defender. And then there's also those RPOs, which you're leaving a C gap unblocked. And that's almost your triple option stuff where, you're reading and riding a D end, and then you're messing with the second level guy after that. It's like triple option football when you can dump a bubble or a missile late. You're always trying to mess with these D-gap defenders, like I said, especially if you're zone locking stuff, you lock that backside. My opinion, inside zone is the easiest to teach, but I think the biggest risk and the most reward is when you start teaching the gap scheme stuff, which everybody's starting to dabble in. But you got to make sure your quarterback is aware of where he's protected. He's got to know if it's a triple option type RPO where he's got to get outside the pocket, and it's a two read type of deal. And he's got to know when it's really just a one read type of deal when you're reading a D gap defender because he's protected up front. And then I break them down into kind of three different levels. There's that first level RPO, which is your bubble, missile, arrows. You got your second level, which is your stick, hitches, and speed outs. And then your third level stuff when you're almost messing with safeties or alley defenders where you run that glance from middle of the field post. Okay, so this is how we teach. We talk about a rule of three split, and this is kind of that mentality that we've adopted a little bit from Hugh Freeze when he was at Ole Miss, and I thought it was a really good way to teach. And it's really, at the end of the day, you're asking your quarterback which field you want to play ball on, which field has less numbers to go play ball. First thing we have our guy do is check the box and count the box, and we've taught him how to count the box. At the end of the day, if you get 5, which is great, we want to run the football. Okay, so if he comes up and there's 5 dudes in the box, it's an automatic give. Okay, and then 6, you're going to have an influence guy. And that doesn't mean that you're automatically throwing the RPO with 6 guys in the box. 6 is still a great run box, especially if you've added a tight end. And then really your numbers can adjust at that point, because if you've added that tight end, you've got 6 hats for 6 hats. So your 6 can turn into the run. Okay, your 7 here could turn into the influence somebody, and then your 8 could turn into that throw the football type mentality if you add that 6 guy in the box. So, talking about the tight end. And then at the end of the day, if there's 7 to 8 dudes in the box, it should be an automatic. There is no read ride. You got to get rid of the football because we got to get the ball out now. And then what he's going to do, he's going to check his single receiver. And this is for a lot of those trips RPOs, okay, where you have that backside X receiver run that, he's the boundary guy, and he's running a conversion route in our offense. So if you got a corner that's 6 yards or more off, we're going to tell him to run a hitch, a 5-yard hitch. And then if we've got a corner that's pressed or 5 yards or less, we're going to tell that guy to go vertical. And our quarterback's got free reign to throw that thing at any time as long as he's C gap to C gap protected. And then really what you're talking about is you want to fix that D gap guy all the time. So let's say picture, trips right, ball left hash, back offset to the right. You got your X into the boundary. You're pushing the zone to the boundary there. If that front side, will linebacker is getting into that front side run in the zone, all you got to do is catch and throw that hitch or that conversion route out there. And now all of a sudden that's fixed because he's widening himself out and he can't get into that zone scheme anymore. And then, the third thing you do is if you don't, if you've got a 6-man box, okay, you don't like your single receiver, then you're just getting your ride it out RPO, whatever it may be. That's your post-snap type deal. Okay, pre-snap picture versus post-snap picture. Okay, this is just some extra stuff that I threw in there. We've already really talked about all of it, so we'll move on. Here's a 3x1 stick that we run quite a bit. All right, here's our backside conversion route from our X receiver. We're going to push the zone to the boundary here. Okay, whatever it may be, tight zone, inside zone. We're going to stick with number 3 at 4 yards. A lot of people run the speed out here. We decide to run the bubble just because we think we expand better. Okay, and then we're going to run the mandatory outside release go. And again, this is your pre-snap side to your quarterback. Okay, he's got free reign to throw that thing. If you've got a will linebacker that's tight to the box, he can throw that thing right now. Okay, that's his pre-snap side, so to speak. And then the other side over here would be his post-snap side. And the key is whatever side the back is opposite, that's your pre. Okay, so it's easy for the Q. He always knows that. If the back is away from that RPO on that side, that's your pre-snap RPO. If the back is to that same side, that's your post-snap RPO. Keep it simple for your guy. I know some people are doing, you've got the back away and you're kind of post-snapping this deal back here with the glance route. All right, that I think that's great stuff, but at the end of the day, we're trying to keep it simple for our kids at the high school level. All right, so here's a clip. Again, he's going to count his box. Which side of the field do you want to play ball on? All right, he thinks he's got a good run box here, so he's just going to hand the football off. Got another question?
Yes, sir. It was asked, how does the X know what route to run?
Okay, so the X, where he's always going to run that conversion route backside when he's by himself in the RPO world. So, for instance, this picture, if the corner is 6 yards or more off of him, okay, or giving cushion, he's going to run a 5-yard hitch. All right, if the corner is pressed up on him 5 yards or less, he's going to run a vertical. So hopefully that answers your question there. So, and we rep that stuff constantly, so he kind of gets those different looks from those corners every day. So this corner is bailing on him, so he's just going to set this thing up right now. Again, here's our read, guys. So we talk about 6 in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This nickel defender out here, this extra safety, whatever it may be, he's getting taken care of by the bubble route right here. So this is our read guy on our stick, okay? 4-yard stick here, boom. If this guy plays run, okay, like we talked about, there's 6 in the box, so the quarterback's got to influence somebody. Here's his influence guy. If he plays run, he's going to pull throw it. Again, could he throw this conversion route out here? His pre-snap RPO, essentially? Yes, he could, but he's got to be aware of this flat defender out here and his matchup out here. And that's what he's checking pre-snap. That's why it's the pre-snap RPO as well, with the back being away from that side. So that's why it all is the pre-snap stuff. But he's getting to his post-snap side here, read and ride, pop, throw the football. Same deal over here. And what you can kind of do with your stick route too, we've kind of taught our quarterback is sometimes, especially if you're facing that traditional 4-man front, all right, where this Sam backer is going to walk out and split 2 and 3, sometimes he'll slam down on the stick. And we tell our quarterback, if he's reading this stick and sees that within this transition, he can just transition to throwing the bubble route right now. And this is a good picture of seeing that as well. Pre-snap side, again, is over here, okay? He can throw it if he likes it, but he sees this guy pre-snap, and he's probably thinking to himself, I'm not going to throw that hitch route out there. So he's just going to transition to the bubble. Next best thing. All right, now he's going to throw the conversion route. So this Will linebacker out here, this joker in this look, okay, he's getting into the run fit now to the front side zone. So we're going to make him right in this pre-snap RPO. And again, he's got the free reign to throw that thing and see it whenever you want. And what you tend to notice is with a first-year quarterback, you got to kind of remind him of that pre-snap RPO because he's so worried about seeing the box here to run the football. And then he's kind of getting to his post-snap side over here. That he forgets about the pre-snap side over there a lot of times, but it's great, just easy pitch and catch stuff. And you can play games back there. You can run slants. You can do all sorts of things back there. It doesn't have to be a hitch or a vertical. You can do whatever you like. Some guys run the GIF route where they run the 5-yard speed out. We just like the conversion route. All right, here's a great example of having great C-gap to C-gap protection up front. Now he's getting a press corner, so hopefully this answers your question a little bit better, somebody that asked it earlier. So now our guy knows I'm going to go vertical right now. Okay, doesn't like his run boxes. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7. So he's thinking he's going to throw this thing to either side, his pre-snap side or his post-snap side. He decides a quick token fake and deliver a strike. That's what's great. And you rep those things constantly, so those guys are able to just adjust those routes on the fly. All right, so bubble. We also do a 3x1 bubble as well, and we do it just like everybody else. We're MDM blocking out here, most dangerous man. Number 3 is bubbling, still conversion route over here. So again, you still have your pre-snap side, you still have your post-snap side. Then we also do a missile concept where we do a lot of it into the boundary. We can do it in the field, but we like to run our missile a little bit to the boundary here. Okay, so and really this is a true pre-snap RPO for our guy, and that's what we tell him. Because basically this route out here, which is still your conversion, that becomes your post-snap side because the back is to that side. But that's a long-ass throw for a guy out here, especially if you got a will kind of pressed out this way. So really, we're just reading numbers here. If you got good pre-snap numbers, okay, so if we're 3/2, meaning we've got 3 over there 2 over here, we're going to throw that football. If we've got 3/3 or 3/4, really we want to bet we've got a better run box. We're going to just turn and hand the zone at that point. Here's our bubble and 3x1. Okay, so he's counting his box. All right, he likes his throw box better just because they've got a bunch of dudes in the box here. So he's going to turn and just throw this bubble right now. We end up taking it to the house first play. And I know some people are against counting numbers. It's just what's worked for us. It's what we've taught our guy. We may change this year just to make it a little bit easier. I'm not sure, but this is what's because everybody's kind of now getting to that point where they're reading D-gap defenders solely all the time. And so we're kind of dabbling in some different things and researching some different stuff. But this is what's worked for us. It's kind of a mixture of 2 different type of mentalities. Here's the pre-snap, just quick missile out here. So again, his back is away. Right? His back is away. So that's telling him this is a pre-snap RPO. He's counting numbers. He likes the numbers. He's going to bang it out there right now. If not, he's just going to turn and throw the zone or just turn and hand the zone, excuse me. Likes his numbers because it's 3/2. Get it out there right now. Great extension of your run game. Quick, easy stuff to get some good speedy guys on the outside of the ball quickly. We run this play out of tempo a lot. Okay. So we'll just go trips in the boundary and then missile these guys. It's paid dividends for us. This is something I've carried with me everywhere I've been. Learned it at Bowling Green from Coach Babers. Was a great play. Here's a good example of a young quarterback, okay, not knowing that he's not C-gap to C-gap protected, and we're leaving a defensive end. Well, really, he should be, just focused on the run box and his post-snap RPO over here. Well, what happens is he decides to throw this vertical route, which is not a great matchup from the start. He ends up getting his clock clean because he doesn't understand protection. That's why it's so important to teach your guys protection up front, how, what they're protected and what they're not. So I thought that was a good clip to show you guys of making sure your young guys are aware of those things. All right, again, just a quick, easy bubble for us out here. This a million dudes in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nearly 8. That's his read guy too. Quarterback should know right now I'm either throwing this conversion route, all right, or I'm throwing my post-snap bubble over here right now. That's what we get. Okay, same thing again. Okay, pre-snap look. Does he like it? Does he not like it? Again, this is pre-snap. Why? Because the back's away from it. So this is a true pre-snap RPO out here for us. All right. We don't have a conversion route backside because we got tight end closed. Okay, so now it's easy for your Q. He's really just reading this thing pre-snap. He likes it, he's throwing it. If not, he's handing the football off. He doesn't like it, so he's just going to hand GT. And you can group them however you want. You can have you can have 3 pre-snap RPOs where it's just a pre-snap read for your guy. Then you could have 3 post-snap RPOs. You can do whatever you'd like. This is just what's worked for us. And within our system, we kind of have the ability to kind of tag what we want with certain run games. We've tagged stick, we've tagged missile, we've tagged bubble, all to power, to GT, to zone. We've kind of done it all, so it's worked out well for us. 2x2 bubble and stick, kind of what everybody's running. So technically, this is your pre-snap side. And if we're 2x2, we're going to mirror stuff. Okay, so if we run bubble 2x2, all right, his post-snap side is with the back. His pre-snap side is away from the back. All right, if we run stick, a lot of times we're going to have an Ohio route backside just to give us a bailout. So we're going to run a mandatory outside release go from 1 and then a speed out from number 2. I just had both the bubbles on here and mixed the stick in as well. But, here's a bubble concept that we do. Bubble into the boundary. Love bubble into the boundary. It's a great look. Post snap look for our guy. He just sits, right? Okay, so we're handing the football off. It's post snap. Why? Because the back is to him. Now, if this guy was given a great pre-snap look, meaning this guy was blitzing off the edge right now and this guy was high, this safety, that's a great pre-snap look. Your guy doesn't need to read ride like we've talked about before. He can just catch, clear the back, and throw it right now. Very next play, now we read it and ride it, and he influences them because he's the influence defender. Read, ride, pop, ball. Same deal here, and then I'll show you guys our glance route so we can finish up here. All right, really good stuff, especially when you're facing odd fronts. You can kind of put that joker backer who might be more of a defensive end type of guy, put him in a conflict here. All right, this is what we did in this game, and it was a really clear read for us. Again, okay, he's got 6 in the box, so he has to influence somebody. His influence guy is this 6th guy. Delivers a football. Here's the stick route up top. Okay, again, his read's coming right now. All right. This guy's showing blitz right now. So really, that's when it goes back to that. It's a post-snap RPO technically, but he's got a quick shoulder that thing and get it out now just based off of, the vertical movement in the stick more rather than the horizontal movement, and that blitzer coming right now. And again, you can tag whatever you want out here. Again, we run sticks, so we've got our Ohio concept going out here. That's his pre-snap side technically. So if he had great numbers out here, if he liked it, 2-on-1, he could throw that if he wanted to. Not great numbers with the cover 2 trap there. So here's our power glance. A lot of people are running it. A lot of people are reading boundary safety or third level. We read a boundary backer a lot of times, and it's a great look for a 1-high type of deal. Again, you can have a pre-snap side out here if you want. We have blocked it up a lot of times just so we gave our guy one post-snap look to read. But you can have your pre-snap, whatever you want to do. You can run your Ohio up here. You can run your bubble. You can run a missile. I mean, you can do a milk, whatever you want to do, and have that be your pre-snap side to give them a bailout. Okay, this is a 3-step post for us, all right, or a 3-step slant, I should say. Okay, we're reading this cat. If it's a 1-high, it's a true 3-step for our guy. If it's a 2-high, if this guy drops out, okay, and this safety's high, we're still going to read it out normal. Okay, we're just going to read next closest backer, but our guy running it's going to be more flat. Okay, he's really going to 1-step it and then get flat right now because we want to run underneath that boundary safety. All right, and this is the drill we just worked. It's the read, ride, pop, same side. It's that post-snap RPO that's a long ride it out. He's got to influence. True post-snap RPO. Okay, we hand it off there just because we don't like it. Very next play. Read, ride, pop, ball. Same thing here. Now it's just his opposite side. It's on his 45-degree again. Okay, we're reading this backer. All right, so this is his post-snap side with the back because the back's that same side. If whatever you want to do out here, again, we're just blocking it up. But you can do whatever you like out here and treat that as your pre-snap side if you'd like. Read, ride, pop, ball. Last one here. Okay, same deal. Read, ride, pop, ball. Really good against a 1-high look. Again, you can still do it out of a 2-high, but you want to keep your reads consistent for your cue. So if you're going to do it out of a 2-high, okay, he's still going to read next closest backer. So picture that safety up here. We still want him to read backer because we built this play off a backer read. We're not going to all of a sudden now make him read a boundary safety just because we don't want to do that. He's still going to have a backer read. We're just going to put it on our wide receiver to understand he's got to come flatter now. You got some more questions?
Yeah, I got a question that just came in, Coach. Does your quarterback have the right to tag routes pre-snap, or do you guys utilize your check with me to tag routes?
No, it'll be more of a, when we call it, we'll tag it. So we'll tag it left to right for him. We don't give him the ability to do it on his own. That could change, but just the way that we've structured our offense, we don't we don't give him the ability to just kind of have the freedom to tag what he wants. So it's more of a left to right type of deal for us. So when we make a play call, if we're going to run that boundary glance route, we'll call in our formation, call the boundary glance. And then if we just tag the run concept, those receivers on the backside know, which is technically that post or that pre-snap side, they'll know, okay, we're just blocking it. But if we tagged another route to that side, they would now know, okay, we're going to run our missile or our bubble over here, to give them that pre-snap look away from the back, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Good deal. Coaches, if anybody else has any other questions, what is the advantage of running RPO with the Y off?
The wide out off. It's kind of just preference at this point. Like, we, with our trips formations, we've got kind of a family of trips that we do where we move our Y to number 3, we move them to number 2. You can kind of do whatever you like. So that technically, like what I showed you guys, that's our H with our H off, and our Y is on the ball for a lot of that stuff, just because our H was more of our RPO catcher, and our Y was kind of that lesser wide receiver, so to speak. And we liked it better, but I don't think there is any advantage. It's more just a preference. You got to find which guy runs which kind of RPO better, which guy runs the bubble better, which guy runs the missile. And then that goes back to grouping your personnel. Like I talked about when you rep that stuff, that way those guys are only getting the RPOs that they're going to rep the RPOs that they're going to run in the game. They're not going to, like, our inside receiver is not going to go run the glance route because he's never going to run the glance route.
The coach was actually speaking in regards to the RPO with the sniffer. Like, what's the advantage
of having the tight end off the line there?
Correct. Yes, sir.
We just like, so we could put our tight end on the line there and have him same rules and dig out that defensive end in our powers. That's our kick out power scheme, and that's the kind of RPO we'd run that glance route off of. We just like having them offline because we think it gives them a better path to dig out that DN rather than be on the line. So it's kind of just worked for us. And we have a lot of sets where we go kind of tight end off like that. And a lot of people call that 20 personnel. We still treat that as like 11 because that's a true tight end for us. So we don't call it 20 because I know some people have that H back in the backfield and they call that 20, but we treat that's a true tight end for us. And we don't really get him involved in the pass game much or the RPO game. He's just that sniffer kind of extra lineman blocker.
If you line up with twins to the left and have a sniffer or a Y and say a wing to the right, and you are running power right glance to a too high look, would you read the front side mic?
Yes. Yep. That's what I said. That safety, if you had that extra guy drop back and play safety, that Sam type nickel guy, if he dropped back and played safety, or if you had an extra safety in the game, like I said, we would read that front side mic there. That because we want to keep the linebacker read for our quarterback. We don't want to now all of a sudden say, hey, you're reading the boundary safety. And hopefully I answered that when I explained it. But we don't want to all of a sudden change his read to a third level defender just based off of the 2 high or 1 high shell we're getting. We're just going to put it on our receiver to run more of a flat route, if that makes sense, and hit it before the mic backer.
Do you ever start in pistol and the back shuffle left or right before the snap to keep from tipping the defense of the pre-snap and RPO side?
We have not, but that's some stuff that we've been studying in the offseason a little bit, especially like Brett Dearman does a lot of pistol stuff, and that helps offset, get people set in the front, a certain way. And you get there's only so many ways the back can line up, offset right or left. You kind of tip your hand, based off of his alignment. So no, that's something we're studying and looking into. So I would imagine we're probably going to utilize a little bit more pistol this year.
Awesome. Anybody else have any questions? Is there any front or coverage that gives you problems?
Odd fronts gave us a little bit of issue last year, man. We had 3-4 fronts gave us some issues, and then we, with the 2 high look, and then we faced some teams that did some 3-5, where they had those 2 extra outside backers that were kind of stand up DNs. So it's not something that's debilitating to us, but it gives it, we're used to seeing 4 down front. So when we do see that 3 down front, it's kind of a change up for us. So that's what I'd say is the toughest one to kind of game plan for and work around, just because it changes your angles up front a little bit.
No, for sure. Have you guys seen any 3 safety looks?
A little bit, more so when teams are playing that nickel coverage. They'll bring that nickel guy in late in the half, end of the game. Our rivals that we play against, they did some 3 high safety stuff, but It wasn't like they lived in it. We're not seeing a lot of it. If anything, we run the football really well. So if anything, we're seeing a lot of 7, 8 man boxes with the one high look. And we actually like it. When we see a 2 high look, because then it opens up a lot of stuff in the run game for us.
Do you ever RPO away from the back?
Yeah, well, that's what our pre-snap side would be. So I know some people, like if you watch some LSU film with Joe Burrow, they do a lot of that RPO away from the back type stuff. That for us, if we're away from the back, that's kind of treated as our pre-snap RPO. So the quarterback can check his numbers, and if he likes it, he can wing it out there with that conversion route or whatever kind of concept we've got tagged over there. But no, a lot of our stuff is with the back on that same side if we're post-snap and a lot of stuff. Like we did do an RPO. We did a pre-snap RPO where we went tight end closed, trips to the field, and then we had back to the left, and then we ran GT back to the trips, and we would pre-snap read, that alley defender, and if he was tight to the box, we'd throw the bubble. But if not, then we just hand the GT. But no, we never post-snapped anything away from the back.
If you had one drill to help install your RPO game, what would it be?
Probably all the drills I took you through today. The one specifically would probably be just the read ride stuff. Really just, him feeling out that 90-degree, getting both feet to the sideline, read, ride, pop ball. And then, the 45-degree when he's going his opposite way. That'd be the one drill that I'd constantly work, in terms of the RPO game. And that's the one drill that I kind of revert back to if we're running low on time for whatever reason. I always make sure we get that in so he can feel that,
Absolutely. Anyone else have any questions for Coach? Obviously gave us a ton of good information. I was just telling a coach was on Twitter before and just saying, he had to run out and he couldn't catch it live, so he was going to watch it back. And I was telling him, you were going over some great individual, like indie stuff, and really explained and detailed the indie work. So it's a must watch for sure for any quarterback coach, especially that deals with RPO stuff. So it's definitely going to be a must watch to go back and check it out. But if anybody has any questions, drop it in here. If not, obviously Coach has had his contact information up there. If anybody, feel free, to reach out. I say it all the time, right? Especially now during this time when we have more time on our hands, right? Is really the opportunity for us to take advantage of this. It's not just a slide that Coach wanted to put up. I mean, let's talk ball. You know what I mean? So appreciate everybody. Appreciate it.
Sorry, that's the one kind of. If I can give anybody a piece of advice, you're talking about, building your indie drill work. Rep what fits you guys. Don't just, watch a guy on Twitter post a quarterback drill and then just think that you got to do it because he's doing it. Well, he might be doing it for a specific reason within his offense. What we rep is going to translate to the game. So, and if anybody's got any good, indie RPO drills that you didn't see me do, please shoot them my way. So I'm always looking for stuff to improve.
This is the time to learn, man. Another question came in, Coach. What is the QB quarterback footwork for slant, hitch, and stick out of the gun? Excuse me.
So, like, if it's just a true drop back game, like quick game stuff, we're just going to go slow one and rhythm one. So if he's throwing that hitch where he's going to throw it right now, he's just going to catch, step, throw, and we call that a rhythm one. He's going to get it out quick. If we go slow one, he's going to really drive back with that opposite foot slowly. And then, that's for more of your speed outs, or maybe that slower developing like slant. A lot of people, when they run double slants, they hit that second window, with that second receiver. That's more, you can take that slow one step and then your quick violent at the end. So we use the term slow one, rhythm one for all of our quick game, and that kind of falls into that category.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I appreciate you jumping on, man, and, spending the time with us. And like I said, putting this presentation together and, speaking to these coaches today. And of course, a big shout out to all the coaches who had joined in today. Not only this session, but the other sessions. Absolutely. Coaches, hashtag I got better today. That's what it's about, man. Let's keep, keep getting better, man. That's what it's about. It's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Appreciate you having me on, Justin.
No, absolutely. Coach, absolutely, man. I appreciate you being willing to jump on, and it was a lot of fun, for us to, as spectators, I guess, to just kind of, be a part of the presentation and check it out and learn something today. So really good stuff. Obviously, you guys have coaches' information there. If anybody feels free to, feel free to reach out, and let's keep pushing this thing forward. We're back at it tomorrow. First session's at 9, and just kind of posted that. So we'll finish this. We got tomorrow and Saturday to rock with, and this just capped off a great Thursday. So I want to thank Coach for doing so, man, and really knocking it out. So appreciate everybody, and once again, Coach, thank you.
Yep, we'll talk to you guys.